One of the most valuable things that founders have is your time. And yet when people go out and fundraise, they often just take random introductions and start taking meetings. And I don't recommend this. There's an old saying, which is measure twice, cut once. I think the amount of time that you put into pre-planning your own fundraising process really matters. So let me quickly tell you how we do it, because maybe that would help you. So the very first thing I do is I go out and look at the people who invest in VC funds. Those are called LPs. And I try to qualify which ones have invested in funds that are my size. And I take a list that starts with like 800 names. You can get databases of who the VCs are. I get databases of who are the LPs. And I look for people who have invested in funds similar to mine. So I create a reduced list. Then I look for places where I know somebody who has raised money from them directly. I call them up and I ask their opinion. Would they be a good fit for me? And then I create a qualified list and I ask for introductions. Never take a meeting you're not introduced for. And I'm just going to give you a metaphor. If somebody sends me a high quality introduction, let's say it's a founder I work with, when I start the meeting, I'm leaning in. I'm thinking this is going to be great because someone told me to come. If I take the meeting and I didn't really want to take the meeting, I'm leaning out. And the same happens to me with LPs. So I only will go to LP meetings in which I've been introduced and they've been qualified as being a reasonable size. Then I look for Qs. And I'll give you an example of the Q I look for. If an LP says to me, I have 15 VC managers already, and we're trying to get it down to 13, we can always take new ones, but we've got to cut 2. So if I add a new one, I've got to cut 3. I know I'm dead because the idea that you're going to cut someone and add someone new, my probability is really low. If I meet an LP who says, we're actually 4% of our total fund is in venture capital and we're trying to get it to 8%, so we're trying to grow our program, I know I got to fit. Now I have to have something unique. And something unique about us is we're based in Los Angeles. Now we invest nationally, only 40% of our dollars go into LA. In fact, we invest internationally, but 40% LA. And I say to people, we're based in LA. And I start to talk about that. If I see them leaning out and saying, we're really only investing in the Bay Area or we prefer China, I qualify them out. But I've said something unique, and that's something that's unique. It might mean that 2 out of every 3 drop out. But the one that leans in, I have a much better probability. They tell you the rule of sales is qualify, qualify, qualify. And I'm always looking for a fit because in the end, when I create a qualified pool of people who are a good fit for me, I know that my likely investor is going to come out of that smaller pool.